football on the level to where we thought you were better than these guys. So,
right.
So again, when you have a guy, think about this. When you have a guy that's like top 15 in passing,
right,
top 10 in rushing, my man, you shouldn't be coming up with more than 10 points. Like your game should be shootouts.
The boy already accounted for 82% of the offense. So
yeah.
Why are you struggling? I don't get it. It's like, well, with a player like Lamar Jackson, you put him behind anything with a play action, you're deadly.
And that's what I'm saying. It comes down to the personnel and do these, like, again, and this is where, see, and this is why you got to love him, because he's exposes not only the opposition, he exposes those who's supposed to be putting these, you know what I'm saying, these gems around him. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, okay, in order for a play action to work, certain players have to be effective in the run game.
Exactly.
Okay. And again, and if I'm going to be convinced that if I'm going to be scared of these, because think about it, okay, if your play action don't work, I'm still getting my people back, basically meaning like, hey, man, I really don't respect your receivers either.
Right.
So now you flip in the mirror saying, like, well, who are you surrounding this guy with?
Exactly. Hey, I've been saying for the last 2 years, you got to blame the GM up here, Eric DeCosta, for not putting the Ravens around. But I got another question to ask you with the coaching. If you're coaching a player with Lamar Jackson, would you have him in the shotgun or under center?
There's so many packages you can put him under. You could put him under center. You could put him, I mean, that's, it's tradition. You could put him under center. You can have him in the gun. I mean, you could spread the field. I mean, because he has so many abilities. Right. He has so much talents, man, and abilities that, it really don't matter. Pistol formation. I mean, it's a lot that you can do with him, but it really don't matter. At the end of the day, it's just like, hey, if you got certain guys, that can get it done, and not taking nothing away from the guys that's with him now. I mean, obviously they doing something right. They playing winning football. Right. I know where you coming from. As an analyst, you feel, and I say the same thing. We don't see how his abilities are maximized.
Exactly. Now let me throw this bone at you. Since you play defense, if I put Lamar under center, he can bootleg, he can roll out, and the play action even more deadly.
Yeah.
Bootleg, roll out, and the play action, he has more. What I'm trying to say, if he in the shotgun, you can kind of predict what he doing. When he under center, he got more things that he can do coming from hiking the ball.
Yeah, I mean, you could do a lot of, and then on top of that, you can do, like, even if he in the gun, if it's one back, now if it's empty, if they got a lot of empty sets,
that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And we got two tackles. That can't stand up without somebody getting around. They beat the ball in the backfield.
And that's as a defender. And if I know that quarterback is an empty, I know I'm not getting a play action. I'm getting one or two things. Either going to be a design run or he's throwing the ball.
So you're looking at chops. You ready to hunt. That's all you're ready to hunt.
Yeah, you gotta put a back with him to make it honest. You know what I'm saying? To say, hey, okay, are they gonna run the ball? Or if you're gonna have him in the gun, put a back with him to where you can just read. You know what I'm saying? You can fake, you know what I'm saying? You can pretty much like play read, see what the defensive end is doing, see what the middle linebacker, see what the safety is biting on. You can, you know what I'm saying? You can put him in that type of situation, but you have to have a back there with him. So when you have him in a gun, now you kind of like limited, what I'm going to see. Okay, I'm not getting read option because there's no back there. So either I'm going to get a design run or it's an obvious pass.
Right. We got a couple of Facebook questions. Somebody said Roman always sucks as an offensive coordinator. Somebody said good breakdown, And another Facebook user said he needs wide receivers that are better route runners. Mm-hmm. Hollywood Brown just got to catch the ball. But I got another question for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing what the media is trying to do to Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
They're trying to Russell Westbrook him with his numbers. What Lamar Jackson is doing is unbelievable, but they're downplaying his numbers. Now I keep saying he's putting up an NFL triple double.
Mm-hmm.
This man should be more revered than what he's being talked about. Nobody has done this in the history of football. Nobody.
Right. Well, see, here's the thing with that. And I'm not, you know how me, oh, man, come on with your conspiracy.
No, go ahead.
Now, I'm going to put my 10 Koofy on. Well, see, you got to understand something. You got to look at who owns these media outlets that's perpetuating the stories,
Right.
Sometimes, in a lot of cases, it be these owners.
Exactly.
They put out this negative propaganda to, justify not giving him the money that we think he deserves.
That's why it's a contract. Yeah, I remember Kwame Brown saying, he said, don't play these publications anymore to do analytics. Half that shit is coming from the owners, like Pro Football Focus and ESPN. But the whole summer they ran negative articles on Lamar. We got a reporter here, Mike Preston. I showed you the articles he ran on Lamar Jackson. I say he's writing articles like this on Lamar Jackson. And a couple weeks ago, I remember the date, September the 27th. He said on the radio, 9:30 in the morning. I know what's going on in the negotiations. So why are you writing hit articles like, how's he gonna do in the playoffs and this? And I'm like, y'all messing with this man money because it's too much negative press coming before the season.
Right. And it's hit pieces, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if we scratch the surface and peel back the onion, you would find out that some of these blog sites, some of these newspapers, some of these local TV stations, a lot of them are owned by the very people that's writing them checks. So it's like, and then you start to do the math and put those two together, saying, okay, he's pretty much tarring feathering this guy, to basically cheapen him. So I ain't got to pay him as much. It's like you giving the negative car review on a car that you about to buy.
and you played in Baltimore. You know how Baltimore is. Baltimore, one radio station town and one newspaper town. And a white boy in the media can't go after Lamar Jackson, so they get the hand bone to do it. The only black reporter that talking sports have been here for a minute. They make it look legit.
Definitely. Like, in the words of Malcolm X, they use one of our own to kill our own just to say it's our own.
Because I was sitting back, I'm like, man, this boy is putting up man numbers every week. I remember we had the debate. I was like, yo, Lamar Jackson, the most dominant football player ever. He was like, man, top 5.
Yeah, top 5. I say top 5. Like, I'm gonna put you like this. If I'm gonna give him that, I got to see more years. I'm still saying LT.
I mean, the boy he about to pass for 5,000 yards and 1,000 yards running. That's unbelievable.
You know what? But that's what I'm saying. Take nothing away from him. Right now, he's on pace to where if he do this over another 10-year stretch, I'm like, yo, LT, you gonna have to make room in that house. Because, like I told you, as a defensive player, it's no way in hell I will be sitting in that meeting room like, Lord have mercy. Like, we will have like our fastest receiver. Because I'm gonna tell you, like, when we prepared for Michael Vick, we didn't use our standard quarterbacks. Man, we took receivers to play Michael Vick as the scout team quarterback. We had to run around and chase this joker. Like,
and I thought we'd never see another player like Michael Vick. This boy's Michael Vick times 5, man.
Man, listen, again, that is a Madden created player. That's a dude like 99 speed, 100, like everything. Like, dude, it's like, and when you see this player play, you're just like, man, what is he? I never thought I would see stuff like that. You seen Michael Vick rush for 100 1 week, and then that's it. But this dude is doing it week in and week out. Like, we seen Randall Cunningham come close to 1,000. We seen Michael Vick actually rush for barely over 1,000.
Right.
This dude is getting 1,200, 1,300, leading other teams' running backs.
He doing it with ease.
I never seen it. Never seen that. I never seen it. I'll pass your quarterback and I'll run your running back. I never seen it.
And you know why I think it's a lot of negative press on him? They don't want him to be successful.
Of course not. Of course not. Again, and let's be honest, man. Listen. If the Ravens smart, this is smart business. You got to understand something. Like, this is why I know that you come back to that one question. They're going to give him his money. And they're going to bury him next to Edgar. What's his name?
Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah. They're going to bury him next to his gravesite in Baltimore. He's going, hoping it's a way long time from now, he's going to die in Baltimore because they're going to bury him in Baltimore. Because, listen, Do you know how hard it is to find a franchise quarterback?
Yes, it's hard.
They're not irreplaceable. They're not expendable. Look what the Panthers just did. Look who they just brought back.
They brought Cam back.
Yeah.
The owner took a picture with him.
Right. It's like
I'm sorry, Cam.
They don't come like, and you got a franchise, you got a quarterback that's going like that's your future.
Right.
This is your franchise. And it's gonna be all type of press, it's gonna be the owners trying to sand the gears and throw sand in the gears and try to slow everything down and try to them justify not giving him what he deserves. But listen, when it's time to sign that contract, when his agents and his representatives are negotiating, man, trust me, you're gonna hear that beep, beep, you're gonna hear that Brinks truck bagging up in Owings Mills.
Another thing. It's not even just the hit uncles. They trying to emasculate him too by him having his mother as his agent. I be telling everybody, no, that's a smart thing to do. He ain't got to share that 10-20%. That's his mother. His mother gonna make sure he got the best interest. But it's not just his mother, it's his agent. They don't play the game right. I hate the way they play the game, man.
But it's a part of it. It's a smear. See, it's a part of business. It's a smear tactic. You know what I'm saying? Again, it's like. It really don't make sense, but it makes sense. It's like it's like the consumer trying to downplay a product that they're trying to buy. But you want that product, but you're really trying to downplay it. It's like you're negotiating for a car. You know what I'm saying? And it's like they don't want to pay as much. So again, they want the power. They know the media controls the masses. You know what I'm saying? Let's be for real. There's only a few of us that can think outside the box, but the majority of your everyday Baltimore Ravens fans are pretty much like, I'm not gonna call it, gotta be mean to say, but they're not visual like that. So they're not gonna peel back the layers and say, well, these owners own these publications that's doing these smear tactics.
Right. My beef is my beef is they didn't do that when Archie controlled Eli in the draft to say he's not going to San Diego, but you shitting on Lamar and his mother for his mother having his best interest or not sharing the money.
I mean, come on, we all know that's protection for the complexion. Let's just be for real. I mean, I'd be remiss if I was to say otherwise. You know what I'm saying? Of course. Right. I mean, when even when Elway's father spoke on Elway's behalf, talking about John Elway ain't going to no damn Baltimore Colts. You know what I'm saying?
He made the reason we ain't got it. We went 20 years without a team.
Right. So, he said he'd sit out and play baseball and play, you know what I'm saying? And if he's not drafted by any other team. So Eli did the same thing. They all do it, but and their parents speak out and stuff like that. So why is it a problem when you have this black mother, speaking out about her boy and about her son, you know what I'm saying?
She's not even in the press. She behind the scenes. She low key. She don't get no interviews, no nothing. Because remember when he got drafted, I was putting up little clips of the quote unquote media shit on for not having an agent. Why did he know? Why did he need an agent? This is a perfect question for you. Why did he need an agent when all the NFL quarterback contracts are slated? It's slated. Right. So why did he need an agent?
I mean, because it's that ability I can think for myself, and they don't like that. See, again, it's like when you are your own representative. But see, because think about it, the NBA didn't have an issue when John Stockton represented himself.
No, not at all.
You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, this is where they learn sports. He went to Gonzaga, and Gonzaga, that's where you learn sports marketing. You know what I'm saying? That's like one of the institutions of learning sports marketing. So if I'm not mistaken, but when they see a guy like Lamar Jackson that don't, do your everyday run of the mill, like I need representation to speak for me, like an agent that's certified by the NFLPA, where he can represent himself. He has his trusted family around him. See, they don't like that because they looking at, so now he thinks for himself.
But being an agent, you do got to qualify and go to classes. You can't be no one of a million fool off the street. That's how beef is. She's a certified agent.
Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, you can choose your own representative. You can be your own representative. And see, the thing is, at the end of the day, he can think for himself. He's his own entity. He's his own corporation.
Right.
He has his own board meetings. No, damn him, you gonna negotiate with me. You know what I'm saying? And again, they don't like that. I mean, to be honest with you, when you look at LeBron is his own. They say Rich Paul is representing, but no, they like, man, look, Rich, you getting rich off me. So
right.
It's like that scene.
Right.
Yeah, it's like you from B More. You seen that part when The Wire, when Clay Davis got in trouble and Clay Davis looking at that lawyer like, hey man, you gonna be representing me. Just think about what it's gonna take you. And that lawyer was like, nah, it ain't going down like that. You can represent him, right? But at the end of the day, with Lamar having his own representation, picking his own representation outside of what the NFL knows.
Right.
See, what they're afraid of now, think about how big of a player he is.
Right.
Think about it. He's one of the NFL elites.
So you can't damn it say he's a face.
Yeah. So this sets a precedent going forward for other. Right. You don't think other guys are looking around like, wait a minute, that sounds like a grand idea.
Right. Keep him in my own house.
Right. Why am I paying this dude 2-3%? And I don't know if this dude is, representing me, right? Because you hear about dudes firing and getting rid of agents every day.
Man, look what happened to T.O. with his money. Man, these young boys are smart. They ain't stupid no more. They not following the Ponzi scheme no more. That's all this is, the Ponzi scheme.
Nah, that's what I'm saying. So you don't know, because it does happen at times. Agents are compromised. You know what I'm saying? Right. Hey, I got a little something on the side for you. If you get him to understand that what he's getting is best for him and nowhere else. I mean, I'm not saying every agent is like that, but I've been hearing stories of other agents that took, something on the side,
Right. Because I've been listening to T.O. He said his agent introduced him to a financial guy. I'm like, yo, that's a conflict of interest.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's why he bitching about his money. I'm like, you got the right to, but you didn't know at the time.
Well, to be honest with you, a lot of agents do it. I mean, but they mind try to do with me, like introduce me to. I'm like, nah, I'm cool. I can, I mean, I ain't grow up poor, but I've taught them, turn $1, 15, make $1 out of 15 cents,
man.
I mean, I ain't grow up no poor kid and nothing like that, but I wasn't a silver spoon kid. But so I understood how to stretch $1. So
yes, sir.
I mean, I was a practical dude growing up. So I mean, I stayed practical. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I mean, but at the same time, I wasn't playing with the money these brothers playing with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So but I can understand where T.O. coming from, because you talking about you bringing in millions and millions of dollars a year. You know what I'm saying? Right. And then on top of that, you making moves out here, and you making moves thinking you got this money, you know what I'm saying, in the bank. Yeah, right. And then it ain't there. And at the end of your career, and you facing all kind of lawsuits. Let's be honest. Let's be for real. You got baby mamas and other bills, people you taking care of, and
the lifestyle. The lifestyle.
Right. Yeah, right. Because that plays a factor in too. So and man, listen, those are worse stories than Freddy Krueger or any Michael Myers Halloween. Boy, when we hear these players talking about how they get ripped off by these financial advisors, man. Oh my God.
I got a family member that played in the NBA. Mm-hmm. That he had some bread and lost. I'm gonna tell you when we get off here. Mm-hmm. You be like, yo, he fucked up that money like that.
Yeah. You see, people just think, yeah. People
recently,
and that's the thing. See, people think like we just go out there and splurge and just be throwing BMF parties. Shout out to Big Meats.
Right.
Throwing BMF parties, dropping $50,000-$60,000 in the club. They think we do that every weekend, but a large percentage of that be people ripping us off. And
right.
But at the same time, we got money rolling in, and I'm just speaking on from the lens of the big money guys. Like you guys is getting 8 figures a year. You got to think you got sponsors that's getting the bag. Like I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I'll tell you, one of the most practical brothers that live. Like you would have never known he had a dime in his pocket the way he carried himself. Jonathan Ogden.
Okay. Oh yeah, he always looked a goddamn mess.
Right. Right, but if you look at his lifestyle, though, he was a DC dude, right?
Yeah.
And he's from, I think he was from DC, and
he moved out west. Right.
Huh?
He moved out west somewhere.
Yeah,
Vegas,
he went out because he went to UCLA and stuff like that. But he was like more of those. I want to say he was like one of them black hippies. You know what I'm saying? Like didn't care for much. Like he was the type of brother that he'd probably be bumping some Mos Def or some Talib Kweli, but he was into that. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, but he'll walk around, throw out. What else? He wasn't dressing like to the nines and nothing like that. However, though, he didn't fly back with us on Sundays especially if we won. Right. JO getting on a private plane, he going to Vegas and he dropping up some cash on the blackjack. Okay. But, however, he was he was a very practical dude. But we still have our vices. But he drove a car that a car lot gave him. And they said, he was like, man, they gave me this. Like, there was some Nissan, I think it was a Pathfinder. He was like, they gave me this 3 years ago. Like, wow. Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, but half the time you hear stories about how these dudes get ripped off. You know what I'm saying? Hey.
and bad thing about with that NFL money, it's not long like the baseball player money. So they really feel it when it's go.
Oh, yeah, because I mean, but like I said, you're not really seeing it at that time because they taking a little at a time. Right. You get your checks rolling in weekly. Then you got, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, if you one of those names, you got those sponsors. They writing you checks and stuff like that. And then you doing other obligations where you getting money on the side and jersey autograph signings and stuff like that, making this appearance here and there. So it's like you at this point to where you don't even have a banker, you got a broker.
Just about. I got a quick question to ask you. What do you think about analytics in football? I think it has no room.
I mean, it really don't, man. I mean, like that's that stuff. Like, I mean, I'm gonna put you like this, man. It's like it's hit or miss, man. You know, sometimes like like you heard that GM from the Houston Rockets that use analytics and he made it big, but man, listen, it's football, no, that's not going to work because at the end of the day, football, a philosophy has to be set from the very, very top. Exactly. And if you want that thing to go forward, it has to be a philosophy that works. Then you got to bring in a certain coaching style and a personnel style from the player standpoint that's going to mesh and make that philosophy work. You know what I'm saying? Like,